Nightly News is straight ahead with more.
So
yeah. President Bush, more on his decision, getting ready to hand over power to Vice President Dick Cheney tomorrow.
Plus, the new type of menopause that can begin for women way before midlife.
I thought she was married to David Copperfield.
It's nothing serious, Joe.
See, it said.
Transfer of power. Tomorrow, President Bush will undergo anesthesia for a colonoscopy and will turn over power briefly to Vice President. Prescription drugs. House Republicans approve a plan to help older Americans pay for medicine. Behind the pharmaceutical industry. Lifeline that changes for women even before midlife. There's a name, perimenopause, and a booming business. Help or hype. And stalking leopards on location with National Geographic for a rare look at these extraordinary creatures learning to survive in the wild.
From NBC News World Headquarters in New York, this is NBC Nightly News with Tom Brokaw. Substituting tonight, Brian Williams.
Good evening. The president announced late today he is having a medical procedure tomorrow at Camp David and will undergo anesthesia. He is having a colonoscopy, and because of that, he is invoking the 25th Amendment to the Constitution. That means for a time tomorrow, Vice President Dick Cheney will be acting president. But we don't know the specifics like when he will take on that office, and that is because, as Mr. Bush put it today, we are at war. The 55-year-old president is in robust physical health, undergoing a routine procedure, but during extraordinary times for the country. NBC News White House correspondent Campbell Brown begins our reporting tonight. Campbell, good evening.
Good evening, Brian. Most administrations in the past have been deeply reluctant to transfer power during minor medical procedures. But the president said today, because he is being sedated and because the country is at war, the decision was warranted. President Bush, leaving today for Camp David, where doctors will perform the colonoscopy, described the procedure as routine.
I feel great. This is a part of the ongoing, it's a kind of part of the annual physical. And so I just decided to do it this time. It fit in with my schedule, and I feel great. No signs, no symptoms.
During the president's two previous colonoscopies, doctors found and removed a total of 4 non-cancerous polyps. His procedure tomorrow will be performed by a team of military doctors. First, the president will be sedated with a drug called propofol, an anesthetic chosen because it takes effect in less than a minute and wears off quickly. Doctors will then insert a scope with a tiny camera like this that allows them to examine the length of his colon looking for polyps. Any found will be removed. We're told the procedure should take between 30 to 45 minutes. During that period, the president will formally transfer power to Vice President Cheney, who will remain in Washington.
I did so because we're at war. And I just want to, be super cautious. And I informed the vice president of this, and he's fully prepared to standing by. He'll realize he's not going to be president that long.
This is only the second time in history a president has handed over power. The last, July 13th, 1985, when then President Reagan underwent surgery for colon cancer, transferring power to then Vice President Bush. And the president's doctor said today that if all goes well, the president should be able to return to his normal diet and normal activities by tomorrow afternoon. Brian?
Campbell Brown reporting from the White House tonight. Thanks. Now to the ongoing disaster at WorldCom and the huge financial losses suffered by so many. The layoffs started today, about 20% of the workforce, and at the same time, word of another accounting mess at another big company. Here with that, NBC's Ann Thompson.
At WorldCom offices across the country today, employees get the bad news.
Called me into an office and gave me some papers and said, well, we're sorry about this, but, we've got to let you go.
Handing out the first wave of pink slips, eliminating 17,000 jobs. At the same time, WorldCom treating its top salespeople to a 3-day, all-expense-paid vacation at this posh resort in Hawaii. The Inner Circle Weekend, an annual event, this year at the Grand Wailea Hotel in Maui, where rooms go for $435 to over $10,000 a night, adding insult to injury for WorldCom workers let go.
I don't trust those people that made those decisions, and I think that they should be punished.
And more revelations of corporate shenanigans today. Xerox, the latest company to come clean about how it manipulated numbers to improve its balance sheet.
I hate to disagree with
Trying to stay ahead of the growing outrage, President Bush demands Wall Street act swiftly to restore America's trust.
Corporate America has got to understand there's a higher calling than trying to fudge the numbers. That you have a responsibility in this country to always be above board.
But the Democrats, encouraged by a national poll showing some erosion in Bush's approval rating on the economy, accused Republicans of contributing to the problem.
They created an environment in which corporations and some of their leaders went out of control.
The damage goes far beyond the WorldCom workers fired today. The nation's largest state pension fund suffering a $598 million hit on WorldCom alone. Dr. William Chris, director of the California State Workers Pension Fund, says it's time to start making corporate executives pay.
You wouldn't want to put every CEO in the country in jail, but there are some individuals who probably deserve that treatment.
Tonight, as investigators try to figure out just what happened at WorldCom, thousands of former workers adjust to a new and uncertain future. Ann Thompson, NBC News, New York.
On Wall Street today, stocks finished mixed as fund managers tried to add winners to their portfolios in time for those end-of-quarter statements. The Dow was down almost 27. NASDAQ hung on to a gain of 4 points, and after this wild week, the Dow lost 10.5 in the end. NASDAQ was up more than 22 points on the week. Now to the cost of prescription drugs for this nation's seniors, a powerful political issue in an election year, and after a bitter fight that lasted almost all night last night, Republicans in the House of Representatives managed to pass their version of a plan along party lines and over the strenuous objection of Democrats who have their own idea of how to do it. How will seniors make out, however? Here is NBC's Lisa Myers.
Betty Oster says it's about time Congress did something. But after watching the House debate, she is not pleased.
I just don't feel it's enough, and I don't feel that they really care.
She spends more than $6,000 a year on drugs, more than half her Social Security check. The House plan would cover less than half her rising costs.
It's unbelievable. It's disgustingly high.
The Republican plan offers drug benefits through private insurance companies. Seniors pay a premium of $33 a month. Then a portion of drug costs are covered up to $3,700 a year. The average senior who spends $1,000 a year on drugs would save $204. Republicans applauded their own plan.
No senior under this coverage will ever have to pay more than $3,700 a year for their total of drugs.
We will leave no senior behind.
Democrats saw it differently.
And if you stack that plan up against what these people are asking for, it fails. It fails. In fact, I would say it is a fraud.
The House Democratic plan provides a benefit directly through Medicare. It's more generous, but also much more expensive.
GOP now stands for Get Old People.
We all love our mothers and our fathers. And we all love our grandparents. How dare you suggest otherwise?
This bill would
The
have come
Republican
back
bill does not control the price of drugs, a big reason it was supported by big drug companies and their army of more than 600 lobbyists. Drug companies even gave money to a group that ran $4.6 million in TV ads, mostly to help Republicans.
Thank Congressman Peterson for fighting to add prescription drugs to Medicare.
Some Republicans privately admit this plan has as much to do with positioning them for the November election as with helping seniors. Senate Democrats promised to act on their package next month. Lisa Myers, NBC News, Washington.
Dramatic pictures into us tonight from the Middle East. Israel setting off a large explosion in the Palestinian headquarters in Hebron on the West Bank, apparently to force the surrender of more than a dozen wanted Palestinians, although it is still unclear whether anyone was inside the building. Also today, splashed on the cover of Israeli newspapers, an army photo purporting to show a Palestinian baby dressed as a suicide bomber wired with explosives. The authenticity of this picture has not been verified, but Israeli leaders say for their part it proves the Palestinians are teaching their children to hate. What happens to the children of war is one of the many tragedies of the Middle East. Here is NBC's Martin Fletcher.
Children bury a child. In Jenin yesterday, Bassam Saadi, an 8-year-old boy, shot by Israeli troops during the curfew. 700,000 Palestinians are now confined to their homes in the West Bank, part of Israel's war against the suicide bombers. The boy's death is more trauma for 8-year-old Siraj, who lives a few hundred yards away from the funeral.
I have nightmares. I'm afraid of dying.
Remember Siraj? We first met her last week running in terror from Israeli tanks. Her uncle grabbed her, shouting, "Don't be scared, don't be scared." But she is.
I'm frightened. I don't want to go out. I'm scared of the Jews.
And she's angry at her mother who sent her out to buy bread, risking her life. When the curfew is lifted for a few hours every couple of days, Siraj goes out to play, but only right in back of the house. And while we were there, she agreed to go a few yards further to buy a bottle of juice. The little girl slowly getting back her courage.
I get scared when I hear the shooting. I'm afraid that the soldiers will come to my house, but I want to go outside and play.
In Gaza, where there are no curfews, it's a summer vacation, and the children are free to go out. But it still isn't much of a childhood.
It's an absolute catastrophe for children. Children cannot be exposed to violence the way that they're being exposed at the moment and not have serious short-term problems.
In counseling sessions, aid workers put pretty pictures on the wall, a brave attempt. All the children draw is their reality: tanks, guns, and blood. And reality for Siraj, a summer vacation under curfew on pain of death. Martin Fletcher, NBC News, Jenin.
Up next, as we continue NBC News In Depth tonight, she is known as the president's alter ego, and she is leaving the White House to go home to Texas. Tom Brokaw gets some parting thoughts from Karen Hughes. And later, National Geographic photographers capturing the life of an elusive cat, a leopard, as you've never seen them before.
I like to shop every day. When I went on chemo, I was exhausted. I couldn't even make it to South Market.
If you're on chemotherapy and feel tired, you may be anemic. Talk to your doctor about Procrit. For chemotherapy-related anemia in patients with most kinds of cancer, Procrit can help you regain red blood cells, and more red blood cells can mean more strength.
Welcome back, Mr. Bentini.
Procrit is proven and safe. In studies, only diarrhea and edema occurred more often with Procrit than placebo.
Buying fresh takes a little more energy, but I love it.
With cool and colorful summertime flavors, nothing says summer like a Kraft salad. Kraft dressing. Bite into summer.
Wish your dentures were this comfortable? Bob's denture adhesive is C-Bond. Bought it for hold, love it for comfort. Only C-Bond clings wall-to-wall with 3 strong adhesives in a thin velvet soft wafer. No gaps, no ooze. C-Bond, buy it for hold, love it for comfort. And to help get dentures their absolute cleanest, try C-Bond Denture Brush. It's the #1 denture brush brand, C-Bond.
If you're buying or selling a home in this market, tap the power of Prudential Real Estate. Backed by a name trusted for more than 125 years, the Prudential Real Estate Network can get you moving. With more than 42,000 real estate sales professionals you can rely on in offices across North America. Each day, we're helping to bring thousands of buyers and sellers together. Call today and find out why millions of people are sold on Prudential Real Estate.
Pepto-Bismol. It's first aid for heartburn, diarrhea, nausea, indigestion, and upset stomachs. An all-new Dateline Friday. Stress. Can you handle it? Take Dateline's National Stress Test. A 2-hour interactive Dateline tonight at special time, 8/7 Central on NBC.
NBC News In Depth tonight, one of the most powerful women ever in Washington. Counselor to the president, Karen Hughes. She surprised everybody in mid-April when she announced she was leaving to go home to Texas with her husband and son, who are homesick. Tom Brokaw talks to her about her choice and her future in depth tonight.
Mr. Speaker, the President of the United States.
Shortly after September 11th, President Bush delivered a memorable speech that included a compassionate call to parents.
I ask you to live your lives and hug your children.
Counselor to the President, Karen Hughes, not only wrote those words, she's living them.
I said, I love you, Mr. President, but I've got to move my family back to Texas.
And just like that, the most powerful unelected woman in Washington helped redefine the rules for women in the workplace. Any second thoughts?
No, none. The President has been wonderful about offering me the flexibility to do what's right for my family and have a career. And I think that is the wave of the future.
You get some rest?
I did.
Good.
Hughes has been at the President's side for almost a decade, through campaigns and crises. At the same time, she's been a wife and a mother to 15-year-old Robert.
I want to continue to be involved in my son's life. I think the next 3 years of his life, I can't repeat. I never get a chance to do them over again.
Although Hughes is quick to point out, she is moving, not quitting the President.
Reports of my death have been greatly exaggerated. I mean, as you know, I'm going to continue to advise the President. I'm going to continue to be involved.
Pentagon spokesperson and mother of three, Tori Clark, agrees.
I think she's going to continue to contribute in a really significant fashion from a different place. And what she loses in proximity, she gains in perspective.
She'll be out of state, not out of touch.
I bring, I hope, a mom's perspective to a lot of these decisions, because I hear parents at the baseball games talking. I talk to people in the grocery store.
Donna Brazil was on Al Gore's team during the 2000 election, and she admires Karen Hughes.
There will be a lot of people in the White House picking up their BlackBerries, their cell phones, their emails, waiting to hear from Karen.
Mary Madeline is counselor to Vice President Cheney. Do you think it's going to be helpful to have someone like Karen on the outside looking in?
That is Karen's great gift. She always flies at 35,000 feet. She always sees the big view. And, yeah, it can only add to what is already a talent of hers to see it from the soccer fields and the perspective of being in the real world, in real America.
Mixing policy and driver's ed, politics and Little League, in a few days, the Hughes family safe at home. And for your husband, the big sky of Texas, the broad horizons?
He's missed the big sky. He really has. Whenever we fly home and he looks up, he says, I look at the sky. That's a wonderful feeling of a great open expanse and unlimited possibilities.
Karen Hughes on Life After the White House with Tom Brokaw tonight. Up next, women who experience symptoms just like menopause, sometimes as early as their 20s and 30s, wondering whether to pay attention to all the medical hype over what's happening.
Alert. You have reached the end of the Internet. You have seen everything there is to see. Please go back. Now.
Experience the joy of DirecTV DSL. Call now and pay only $29.99 per month for your first 3 months. Call 1-800-BEST-DSL now.
I thought you were surfing the Internet.
Yeah, I finished it.
Heartburn can be brought on by stress or food. For fast relief, get Zantac 75. Zantac quickly blocks the strongest acid trigger for heartburn relief that's gentle anytime. Zantac, the shape of fast heartburn relief anytime.
People are buying thousands of new Oldsmobiles every month, which explains why we're building thousands every month. And right now, you can get $1,000, $2,000, or $3,000 in consumer cash on new 2002 Oldsmobiles, plus the confidence of the General Motors Protection Plan. Are you in the market? Get in an Oldsmobile, backed by GM.
Life-saving news from Bayer. American Heart Association research says people in these groups have suffered more heart attacks and strokes. To help prevent another heart attack, ask your doctor about aspirin. And remember Bayer. Studies prove aspirin can reduce your risk of another heart attack by up to 50%. There's original Bayer aspirin, or low-strength 81 milligram. Aspirin is not appropriate for everyone, so be sure to talk to your doctor before you begin an aspirin regimen. Trust your heart to Bayer.
This is a matchup we've been waiting for, the cagey veteran versus the fast-rising newcomer.
I hear the way this rookie uses bill pay from Bank of America is really something.
Look at the way the veteran stuffs that envelope, John.
That is really old school.
Well, the rookie's in total control out there. He's deciding what bills he wants to pay and when.
The money he's put aside to pay his bills is in one of his other accounts.
Hold on. He's transferring money from his savings into his checking account right from his mascot. What a strategy! He's got ourselves a new champion.
I didn't know about today's
Purple pill called Nexium.
But I spoke to my doctor.
and now I do.
Call this number for more information and a Nexium free trial offer. Nexium, today's purple pill.
Do you know about it?
Sunday, the starting point, a Bush peace plan and a long road ahead. Condoleezza Rice with the details on that and the war on terror. If this Sunday is Meet the Press.
Now to Lifeline and the sudden attention being paid to a series of physical changes millions of women start to experience before midlife, sometimes way before. It's called perimenopause, and as NBC's Kelly O'Donnell reports, some are calling it much ado about nothing.
As many as 50 million American women asking an often dreaded question. Is it happening to me?
You start thinking about you're too young to go through that. You know, that's something your mother goes through.
Cindy McRae first noticed symptoms 3 years ago at 48. Changes like mood swings, lower sex drive, weight gain, and hot flashes.
I still have some problems with night sweats.
Her doctor says it's not what you might think. No, she hasn't reached menopause, the end of monthly periods, but this married mother of 3 fits right into the latest buzzword in women's health, perimenopause.
Perimenopause is nothing more than a word that describes a completely natural phenomenon.
A phase without a precise definition. Some doctors say the physical and emotional symptoms appear 2 to 8 years before a woman's last menstrual period. Others suggest as many as 20 years before menopause, which can include women in their 20s and 30s. More confusing? Doctors say the list of symptoms is so long it includes every typical complaint. That ambiguity, part of the reason some doctors dismiss the diagnosis altogether.
Perimenopause is an invented disease. It's been trumped up by drug companies in order to sell more hormones to a wider group of women.
Some consider perimenopause a made-for-marketing condition, yielding new lines of products that target this younger group of women. Vitamins, skin creams, herbal supplements. By one estimate, sales of soy-based products tripled in 1 year to a $21 million business. Cindy relies on soy shakes and supplements to ease her hot flashes and exercise to control weight gain and regulate mood. She says there's comfort in knowing her symptoms have a name.
Knowing that it does exist, that it is validating to you. I know that it helped me realize that I wasn't going crazy.
Doctors say the label perimenopause gives some women reassurance they're not alone.
It's part of the aging process, it's natural, and it does not require most of these remedies.
Her doctor's advice? Instead of the latest product, focus on healthy lifestyle to cope with symptoms. Kelly O'Donnell, NBC News, New York.
Up next, the cost of a stamp going up again, and the nightly question on that very subject. If you include this weekend's increase, how many times has the price of a first-class stamp gone up since 1990? The answer is up next.
When I was younger, I was interested in growing my wealth, and now I need to protect it. There was a tremendous need of setting up separate trusts. I knew nothing about estate taxes. I'm working with a lawyer, a tax accountant. Thank goodness that Carol has the expertise to look into these things. My clients trust coming to me and the resources of Prudential. You need an expert. Carol and Prudential help me to grow and protect my wealth.
Carrier Weathermaker 2-speed cooling systems with Puron are the most energy efficient you can buy. You can save up to 60% on your home cooling costs. Carrier, 100 years of innovation.
Do your leftovers leave leftover stains? New Cascade Plastic Booster penetrates surfaces, removing stains and odors. Keep plastic looking new with new Cascade Plastic Booster. Each drink can be messy.
In this place, I see a lot of gas. I also see a lot of folks taking medicines that don't fight gas. But Gas X has the most powerful medicine to relieve gas fast. Nothing I've seen works faster. Gastric keeps the bloat fast.
Got an itch? Scratching tears up skin. Maximum strength Lanacane saves your skin from scratching with maximum anti-itch medicine and antibacterial to help kill germs. Lanacane stops the itch, saves your skin.
You never accepted anything just because someone said so. So why are you just accepting that as you get older, it's normal to run to the bathroom 8 or more times a day? It isn't. It could be overactive bladder, a medical condition that can interrupt your sleep and your life, even embarrass you. But it doesn't have to. Because once a day, Ditropan XL is clinically proven to help control overactive bladder for 24 hours. If you have certain types of stomach, urinary, or glaucoma problems, you should not take Ditropan XL. In studies, the most common side effect was dry mouth. Other side effects may include constipation, drowsiness, blurred vision, dizziness, diarrhea, and nausea. Talk to your healthcare professional about Ditropan XL. Ditropan XL. There are some things you don't have to accept.
New at 6, kids and cars. A potentially deadly combination. This week, 2 teens killed in an accident. But Oregon law actually restricts the number of passengers that can legally ride with young drivers. Is anyone enforcing this law?
It's a significant problem. There's a lot of the kids who do it.
What every parent needs to know. Tonight at 6 on News Channel 8.
The cost of mailing a letter is going up again as of Sunday. A stamp that cost 34 cents today will go up 3 more to 37 cents, which brings us to our nightly question. If you include this rate hike, how many of them have there been since 1990? The answer is 5. Back in 1990, by the way, a first-class stamp cost a quarter. And by the way, the Postmaster General says this should be the last price hike until 2004 at the earliest. Tonight we have something never seen before. Cameras capturing one of the most awe-inspiring cats in all the wild, leopards, close up in their natural habitat, learning to survive and thrive. NBC's Fred Francis, along with our partner National Geographic now, with some incredible baby pictures.
You have never seen a leopard like Chololo, and no film has ever captured this solitary, secretive, stalking hunter maturing over 18 months.
When Chololo first arrived there, yeah, he was just physically, he was a scrawny little animal. Suddenly he turned into this real beast.
Acclaimed wildlife filmmaker Kim Waldhutter, in this country for the premiere of his National Geographic special, said the learning curve for Chololo was steep.
He had to keep patrolling his territory. As soon as they back off, somebody's going to move in.
Chololo learned to dominate his 21 square miles of South Africa's Mala Mala Game Preserve. Working mostly at night, Chololo marked his territory and survived against lions, snakes, and 3 dozen hyenas who often stole his kills. Chololo figured out he could tree twice his weight of 150 pounds. He also learned what it can really mean to go out on a limb.
The branch went, cracked, and down he went. But that happened a couple of times.
Going hungry, being tested, and ignoring Waldhutter, who says it was 6 months before Chololo got used to him. The result, extraordinary scenes of ambush and learning in this dramatic tug-of-war that sharing is survival too.
His serious rivals just feeding together. It was amazing, and that we haven't seen before.
Also not seen before, the male leopard's flirtations with females.